Kevin McKay,
Here.
William Ross,
Here.
Scott Bridges,
Here.
Robert Cliff, Jason Crumpa,
Here.
Clifford Scott,
Here.
Maria Lopez.
Here.
Introduction of guests, 3.0 to start.
Super Roan, agency staff.
Mark Gabriel, Agency Counsel.
Andrea Isaac, agency staff.
Michael Casale, Commissioner, Niagara County Department of Economic Development.
Mike Dudley, agency staff.
Carrie Crusoe, agency staff.
Jeremy Dirk, guest.
On the other side,
John Bancroft, GBT Partners.
Next time, Rich Schechter, guest. Robert Green, Niagara Gazette.
Glenn Thames, Amazon.
Brian Griggs, Amazon. Marie Heritage.
thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Maria, you want to lead us?
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
5.0, approval of the meeting minutes from June 8th.
Mr. Chairman, I found them to be in order, and I move for the approval of the minutes of June 8, 2022.
Second.
Mr. Bridges, second. All right. Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 6.0, Finance and Audit Committee. Kevin?
Yes, agency payables June 30th, found those to be in order. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Jerry? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
6.2, budget variance report of June 30th, found those to be in order. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Ross? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, 7.1, DRC Development. Andrea?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We held a public hearing in our boardroom on June 30th at 2 p.m. and there were no comments made.
Are there any questions? Then we need a motion for the final resolution. Mr. Wolfgang and Mr. Krempa. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We need a roll call vote, please.
Gerald Wolfgang,
Yes.
Kevin McKay,
Yes.
William Ross,
Yes.
Scott Bridges,
Yes.
Clifford Scott,
Yes.
Jason Crumpa,
Yes.
Maria Lopez,
Yes.
Marco Nessi.
Yes. All right, 7.2, Lockport Schools. Andrea?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We held a public hearing at City Hall in Lockport on June 29th, and again, there were no comments made.
Okay. Any comments, any questions? Do we need a motion? Motion? Mr. Scott, need a second. Mr. Krempa, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We need a roll call vote.
Mr. Wolfgang,
Yes.
Mr. McKay,
Yes.
Mr. Ross,
Yes.
Mr. Bridges,
Yes.
Mr. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Crumpa,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Onesi.
Yes. 7.3, Alcott project. Mark?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As the board may recall, the Alcott project was something this board approved approximately 18 months ago. We have been contacted by them, and they are still experiencing delays and are requesting a 6-month extension to that inducement. So as of now, they've received their 1-year inducement. They've received 1 6-month extension, and this would be their 2nd extension.
Mr. Wolfgang, have a first. Do I need to have a second? Mr. McKay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Wolfgang,
Yes.
Mr. McKay,
Yes.
Mr. Ross,
Yes.
Mr. Bridges,
Yes.
Mr. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Crumpa,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Onesi.
8.1, Amazon.com services. Andrea?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The proposed Amazon project consists of the construction and operation of e-commerce storage distribution facility. It will be known as the First Mile Fulfillment Center located at 8995 Lockport Road. This site is zoned as, it's currently a vacant 216-acre heavily heavy industrial zone site. The developer, JV2, has received unanimous approvals from the Town of Niagara Planning Board and the Niagara County Planning Board. In addition, the Town of Niagara Board voted unanimously in favor of a negative declaration for the New York State Environmental Quality Review, and we have a team of folks here from Amazon today to the project.
All right, Commissioner, come to the head of the table there, to speak about the project.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Brad Griggs. I lead economic development for Amazon in the Northeast. Based here in New York, been with the company about 3 years, and excited to talk to you all about the project here in Niagara County, located at 8995 Lockport Road. As you said, it was a 216-acre site that is zoned heavy industrial that we're looking to put one of our Amazon robotics sortable fulfillment centers. It is a first-mile location, so this type of facility is where our products are stored. They are packaged and then sent out to our customers. This type of facility services all of the United States, so while it might predominantly service our customers throughout the East Coast, if someone were to look to order some Buffalo Bills gear, maybe some Super Bowl gear this year, that would likely come from a facility like this here in the future should it be built. What we're talking about is approximately a 3 million square foot facility with over $550 million of capital investment. That's $450 million of construction and over $100 million of equipment that would go into the proposed building here. That includes robotics, material handling equipment, as well as the core and shell of that building. This type of facility, our Amazon Robotics Sortable, is the most advanced building in our Amazon catalog of facilities with the robotics and material handling equipment at this size and scale. We would look to employ over 1,000 full-time positions with a minimum starting salary of at least $15 an hour and an average salary in excess of $32,640 a year. That would include some managerial positions as well as the hourly staff within that building. It's about a split of, I believe, 950 and 50 or 8 within the application. And so what we're looking at is at least 1,000 full-time jobs at this facility. We expect hopefully to be able to construct this in a timely manner with our development partners here at JV2. And we appreciate the support that's come from the town and the county to date through all of the approvals that were mentioned by the NDA team here this morning. We are looking at approximately a 24-month at least construction schedule, but given the current environment, we have seen supply chain concerns on some of our other projects, so we have asked in the application for a bit more flexibility in that time throughout the engagement here should we move forward. With that, we at Amazon are focused on our employees. We provide significant comprehensive benefits, the same that our corporate employees have, our hourly staff has. That's full medical, dental, vision, 401k matching, as well as parental leave for the birthing parent of up to 20 weeks. So we have significant comprehensive benefits that our employees have that would start day one. So that's one of the key components here. The instant our employees are hired, they full-time, they have comprehensive benefits kick in. We also have our Career Choice program, which provides 100% tuition reimbursement towards advancement of their career opportunities, whether for their Amazon career or if they want to get a nursing degree or a CDL license or anything and everything in between. We partner with local universities. We partner with national universities to try to enhance our employees, and we cover that 100% tuition after 3 months of employment with Amazon for any of our employees. With that, I'll pause here and any questions from the board related to the project.
Where do you have a facility that mimics this?
Our closest operational facility of this size is in Syracuse. It just launched in Clay, New York. A couple months ago, so it officially launched. I believe initial receiving was in May, and then the full grand opening was just last month. And then we have another facility under construction currently just outside Rochester of this size.
This is a great generational project. We haven't had too many of generational projects in the Niagara area for a while. We probably have to go back to the Niagara Power project of the 1959-62 area. My concern is the air base there. Now, I know you got the approval of the FAA, the DOD, but we did have two base realignments here, 1995 and 2005. And the base alignment, you never know whether you're going to retain or lose. Now, over on that air base, we had 2,800 people that were part-time, full-time, so it is an economic impact. Matter of fact, it's our largest payroll every 2 weeks. You don't see any problems arising. I know you got permission on the 5-story building. I know you're going to have diffused lighting, so you're not blinding the pilots taking off and things like that. And it looks like you touched all the bases you have to touch there. Actually, the problem is on the east end, where there's been a committee for a long time to make sure there's no obstructions to that runway there. Just don't want to lose that base after all the work that we've done on it. And it's a funny thing with the government, they can put millions of dollars into footprint, but all of a sudden, if certain factors are fed in, are negative factors, you can lose it. But just give me your feelings on the relationship between Amazon, the FAA, and the DOD.
Sure,
Yeah, my name is Kim Mason. I'm with Phillips Lytle representing JV2. That's a great question. We've had multiple communications with the Air Reserve Station. So under the local code, their involvement is required right from the beginning. When John started this project, he had initial conversations with Kim Powell right away to bring them in. They received all of our application materials. We've gotten a couple comment letters from them, which we responded to in writing. We also have, John's had several phone calls with them. We had a productive meeting with about 14, 15 people to talk through any questions, concerns they had. All of their concerns have been addressed. They've indicated that they're supportive of the project. But also during those conversations, we talked through things like, I know the construction project for the front gate, how we, JV2 and Amazon, can work with them to accommodate that, make sure that our road improvements don't interfere with their access during their gate improvement project. So there'll be an ongoing partnership there. They actually will benefit from the construction of this project. So they already, we looked at their entrances as part of our traffic analysis, both on weekends, or I should say during the week and during their drill weekends, to take those traffic counts. And they already warrant a turn lane at their entrance without our project here. And that turn lane will be provided as part of the traffic mitigation of the project. So their entrance will actually benefit from our project improvement.
You just answered the second question, because I drive down there a lot, several other people do too. And on the main egress to the base there, all you have is that yellow flashing light, which is crazy. There should be a traffic light there and a turning lane.
Yep.
Because you know where the cars are turning into the mailboxes on the side there. And I was wondering during the busy times, when they come in the morning and when they leave around 3 to 3:30, you got many cars leaving, and most of them going eastward. But that should take care of a lot of the problems with the turning lane and with the light. So you're working with DOT too on that.
Yep, absolutely. They've reviewed the improvements as well. And for the most part, their peak traffic times do not overlap with our peak traffic times, but to the extent that they do, the turning lane should accommodate.
Very good. Last question. You have a lot of trucks coming in and out. Do your trucks run on electricity or gas or diesel? And do you have a fuel cell over there? Because where would they fuel up with the trucks?
So most of the trucks are diesel. However, I'm John Bancroft with JV2 Partners, stand up. Ultimately, there's anticipated to be some EV charging and EV trucks. So Amazon has probably one of the more aggressive sustainability programs and goals. And so this facility does anticipate EV tractor trailers.
But no, there's no
No,
fueling
no
on
fuel
site.
cell.
There will be no fueling on
I
site,
was
and
just trying to figure out what the amount of trucks and things like that coming in now. Well, you answered all my questions, thank you.
You mentioned that there's a possibility of the supply chain affecting this particular project. Does that mean the construction start, or does that mean once you've completed, you might not be using the facility?
I think in the current environment, with the way materials are and the availability, when you have a construction project of this potential size at over 3 million square feet, there's a lot of potential eventualities and scenarios. And so we want to maintain the flexibility and the understanding with the community that this is a complicated, construction endeavor that has significant capital investment. When you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars of capital investment to build a building like this, and a lot of different suppliers and materials that go into it, that's why we want to make sure that, it's understood. We are trying to make this as concise a timeline and as expedited a process as possible. That's why we've worked so closely with our partners here at JP2 and Phillips Lidl and Harris Beach to try and do that. And so to the extent that we can deliver this project on time, we are going to try and do so. It's just a matter of the reality of the current environment. And so we want to make sure that we're not, promising a building in 2025 or 2024 or 2026, and if it slides one way or the other, then it seems like there's larger factors in play. It's just the current environment, and so therefore we're building as much flexibility based on current, what's happening currently.
Since you've said construction in your papers are going to take approximately 2 to 3 years to get the facility, during that period of time, are you going to be hiring employees and doing any training ahead of time? You're not going to get 1,000 people in 3 years from now without some type of training program.
Sure. So at the beginning of the process, as indicated in the application, there'll be over 300 construction jobs at least to build this building. And I think that's a very conservative estimate that will likely exceed by quite a bit. But as far as the employment process, we will be hiring as we get closer to the launch of the building. There is a ramp-up period. So first, the managerials, positions are filled. They have to be trained. That's a little bit longer time frame. But that'll happen usually about, I would say conservatively, about 6 months, maybe a little bit longer before the building launch. Then we start ramping up between 10 to 12 weeks before the building is launched. So a building of this size, we don't just turn on a switch and the whole building starts operating. We have to start testing out the material handling equipment, testing out the robotics, and so it's going to ramp up. And so what we start doing is about 10 to 12 weeks before we start hiring on sort of weekly tranches to get to building launch, that we have several hundred people at building launch, but that hiring will continue as this building goes operational until we reach full staff. So it's that we're hiring not only before the building launches, but we're going to continue hiring through building launch.
I have one more question.
Sure.
You're very close to the Niagara Falls Air Base and to the actual airport. Forgetting the air base that has the longest runway in New York State. Amazon has several locations across the country where you bring in your own planes and bring in goods to supply some of these warehouses that you have all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
You have a proposition in New York State or in New Jersey for Newark, and that's not going as well maybe as Amazon wants. Maybe it will go, maybe it won't go. Is there any consideration future-wise after your facility is up in Niagara that you might consider your closeness to the Niagara Falls Airport, that you consider bringing in those planes?
Sure. So as we have these type of facilities, they tend to have a bit of a gravitational pull to the rest of our operations. But first, this building has to get across the finish line, get under construction, and then get closer to launch. But as that occurs, we are open to any considerations as it relates to our air operations. But at this time, it's too preliminary to sort of comment on the viability of whether or not that may be accessible to the airports here in the region.
Thank you.
My question is, I'm looking at this parcel that over 200,000. I know currently we get about 24,000. I'm speaking for Niagara County in taxes for the taxpayers. And I know over the period of the 15-year pilot, you guys would be paying about $3 million. And then at the end of the pilot, we'll be paying around $10 million. That's a positive, plus many more. The only one thing I have, I think we always look, what if,
in our backyard. So for the neighbors, the big concern is they have the traffic. You know, what type of studies, what are we looking at to mitigate any concerns for them?
I can jump in. So, throughout the zoning process so far, the majority of the comments we've received have been, relative to traffic. So when we originally filed the zoning application in February, we had a comprehensive traffic impact study included. It was completed by SRF Associates. Amy Dake is the traffic engineer who appeared at most of the meetings. In response to the feedback we received from the public, from the boards, several additional intersections were evaluated as part of the study, in addition to adding the ARS entrances and doing additional data collection during their drill weekends. Based on that additional data that was collected, additional mitigation was added that essentially addresses every public comment we received. There are turning lanes added in several different intersections. We're looking at, between traffic improvements and the sewer lift station improvements, about $5 million in roadway and sewer improvements associated with this project that directly address comments received from the public. So the DOT has also reviewed those updated traffic impact studies and has agreed that the mitigation that we are now proposing is appropriate to accommodate the traffic that will be generated by the project.
I would add to that just one quick comment. So we've also worked closely with the community to hear what the concerns have been. As a result, we've managed the truck traffic by having 2 different routes available to use, and so hopefully that helps mitigate some of the concerns as well. I think we have about 7 intersections that we're putting turning lanes in, improving overall, and so it's a pretty robust improvement package that is considered. And as Kim mentioned, we studied 16 different intersections around the area at a pretty broad scale. So we really tried to assess the entire area and the impact of it.
Thank you. This has been kicked around a lot right from the beginning. At the county planning board, I'm sure it came up too. The putting another ramp between the Route 31 ramp and the Porter Road ramp, or Wendy's in the corner there, and taking some of the traffic down Lockport Road and where the junkyard is there, putting a ramp up there. What happened to that idea? Was it too much money? New York State wasn't interested? It just wasn't a good idea.
It's a combination of factors. So one, the timeline to get something like that done could be 5 to 7 years. Also, SRF had indicated it may not be viable just because of distances between exits already. DOT favors a certain distance between exits. And there are also some railroad tracks along that location that may prohibit a ramp going in there. So it was determined not to be viable. We have said JV2 will work with the town going forward if there's additional improvements on that or assistance that the project could provide if there's any traffic improvements the town is seeking, but that's not a viable option.
Thank you. It was kicked around from the beginning, I realized it.
You mentioned in your plan that you're going to have robotic training. Since I'm a trustee and so is Bill of the community college locally, I'm sure that the college would be very interested in working with Amazon and providing training for future employees in robotics. So that's something I think that could be a positive for you for your project in connecting the college with your program.
Thank you. Yeah, that's an incredible offer, and I think it's something we've tried to replicate throughout our operations when we land these sites. That's that career choice program I mentioned earlier, where we will partner with universities, and in many instances, if we can develop a partnership, our associates can apply for classes and not even have to cut a check themselves. If we have the direct relationship, they can sign up at the site, they are enrolled in the classes, and Amazon and the university take care of the payment without the associate ever having to be involved.
Well, after you're done presentation, we'll connect you with the president that you can do that.
That sounds great, thank you.
I'll give you my.
Hey, can somebody talk about the seeker that was completed, the environmental review?
Sure. So when we filed our application in February, there was a detailed analysis of environmental impacts submitted along with that. So you get the long form environmental assessment form, which is required, but then several additional reports and studies were attached to that. Wetland reports, aesthetic impact reports, those types of things, all the different potential impacts you need to look at from a seeker perspective. That entire package was circulated to 28 potentially interested involved agencies as part of the coordinated review. Again, we went to multiple meetings, received feedback, updated some of that documentation based on feedback from the public, feedback from the boards, feedback from the agencies, for example, DOT, like we talked about. The town's own consultant, GHG, had comments on those materials as well, and they were updated as necessary and filed with the town. So at its meeting on June 21st, the town board, as lead agency, issued a negative declaration under seeker. So that's the completion of the seeker process.
Can somebody also talk about the economic benefits? I know we got a briefing from our staff, but at Amazon, what's been your relative to sites that you've done in other parts of the state? What has been the economic benefits to that community?
So before you get into those, the Amazon side of things, just specifically from the project, I did mention $5 million of improvements. That's to the roadway network and to the sewer lift station. And those roadway improvements will not just benefit the project, but will benefit the community as a whole. For example, that Lockport and Packard intersection, where we'll be adding a signal and widening the road, that will improve that overall intersection safety with our improvements. In addition, the building permit fee, because of the unique nature of this building's design, will be over $1 million. So those are just the economics in connection with the zoning process.
Since it takes a couple of years for those projects to get approved sometimes, how soon would the construction start on the highway part?
It would be in connection with the facility construction.
Yeah, so they would be timed up concurrently. As far as additional economic benefits, obviously there's the $550 million of capital investment, which would then increase the current property taxes that the chairman mentioned. And then additionally, at 1,000 jobs, we have comprehensive benefits for all of our employees. In each of the regions that we have located a facility of this size, we've also done significant community engagement once those facilities have launched. So in Syracuse, we've done a significant contribution to the Syracuse STEAM School to help with robotics and computer science curriculums. We've sponsored the Syracuse Jazz Fest. We've engaged with the universities. We've engaged with the local community college to help with those endeavors. In Rochester, we're in the process of working through that community engagement and what that's going to look like at a sort of similar level to what we've done in Syracuse, as that building is currently under construction. So we want to be good corporate citizens in the communities that we go into, especially for a facility of this size. We routinely have volunteer events with our associates, and we want to partner with the community. So we would look to engage with Niagara County, with this IDA board, with the town of Niagara, on what that looks like, on how we can best, because we don't want to come to this community and act like we know how to best ingratiate ourselves. We want to talk to you and understand what are the needs of this area, what are the needs of this community, and then how can we best engage from an Amazon standpoint to make sure that we are good corporate citizens within this region.
So that needs to be developed. That's a future, let's say, action that will take place during the next 2 to 3 years.
Correct. So then as we're going through that construction process, and you can talk to your counterparts in Onondaga County, in Monroe County, we've engaged from the get-go, from before shovels go in the ground on what that can look like. That dialogue continues throughout construction, and then we want to line that up, that as the building is going live, that we are making meaningful contributions to the region from a community engagement standpoint.
So is it safe to say, and I think we all as a board need to hear this, is it safe to say Amazon wants to be in this community?
Yes, I mean, we had engaged from the get-go, and I think a large part of that was the county, the IDA, and the town engagement. We had a project in the region that unfortunately did not move forward, just south of here, and so that positive, proactive engagement from this region was a big selling point to Amazon on why we wanted to consider this site. We have a great development partner in JV2 who brought us this location, in addition to the letters of support that came from the county and the town and the IDA to try and bring what was a ESD shovel-ready site. And this is a project where we want to be, but it needs to make financial and timing sense for us to move forward, and that's what this process is all about.
we know that this area is the central to this good part of our country as far as the delivery of goods going south and west. How does that affect you to be so close to Canada?
I think at this point, our predominant focus for a facility like this is still United States based. We have not done sort of much in the way of cross-border, transportation of goods. If anything, there might be trucks that might route through to get quicker to the central northern part of the country. But for right now, our intentions if this building moves forward would be United States based.
I have one question. We talked about, the staff came up with a figure, and it's kind of staggering. After the incentives that we would give, that taxpayers in Niagara County would benefit over $1 billion. My question is, what hurdles are left after this, before you get the green light?
Sure, I think with any of these projects, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars of capital investment. There's additional, obviously, costs that have to be approved by Amazon leadership related to the wages and the overall operations of the facility. And so even for a company of our size, that's a close to, several $100 million, close to maybe larger than that, commitment over the life of this project. And so with any project of this size, this IDA process is a material factor in that decision. It's a critical component of what our leadership is going to consider. And then from that standpoint, we've gotten through, just last night, we got through some,
Zoning Board of Appeals.
the zoning board of appeals. And so we still have, I believe, the town board site plan process.
Site plan approval and lot consolidation, the final approval still need to vote. The area variances were issued at last night's meeting.
So
But
the
that's the
variance,
last of the,
so the town board site plan process would be the last jurisdictional approval besides the IDA. And then at that point, it's a matter of Amazon leadership comparing the site with the other sites that are vying for this very large capital allotment request. And then from that standpoint, that's basically the final hurdle. And then we just have to come to finalization of dotting the i's and crossing the t's with the real estate
so
process.
you think within 6 months, 4 months?
I don't want to make John over here.
John nodded.
John
is a pretty optimistic guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would anticipate before year end, we'd be making a decision on moving forward or not with the project.
Does Amazon have other projects like this at the same time going on around the country that might determine, again, whether or not they put this on hold at some time in the future?
With buildings of this size, typically the considerations are prior to shovels going into the ground. We're looking at this compared to how best this is going to fit within our network, at the cost and other associated factors that are considered compared to other sites that are throughout the entire United States. This request is how best can we fill in the gaps in our map to fulfill what we need to do to meet our customer demands and our customer obligations. And so that's one of our primary focuses, is making sure we can meet our customer obligations. And so this facility right now is being considered against others throughout the country. But then once we get to the point of sort of shovels in the ground and we're moving forward, it's not necessarily being considered against others in the network. It's really going to be the factors we talked about before of the supply chain and just the construction process, as well as over $100 million in material handling and robotics equipment that have to get into the building in order for it to operate.
What's nice about this, all the entities you had to go through, from the county planning, to the town planning, to the town zoning, to the town council, all the votes have been unanimous up to this point. And that has to be a good feeling on both sides, that people realize it is a generational project, and we need it.
Good. Any other questions? Comments? Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you all very much.
All right. We need a motion on the preliminary
So
resolution. And Mr. Krempa, all in favor? Any opposed? We need a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Krumpa?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Onesi?
Yes. We need to authorize a public hearing.
So moved.
Mr. Wolfgang and Mr. Krempa, all All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We need a roll call vote.
Not so great, but.
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Krumpa?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Onesi?
Yes. All right, thank you. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. John, 4 months.
I love it.
All right.
Have a good day, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Want me to make the announcements?
Yeah.
8.2 BBL
Yeah,
properties,
yeah.
that project was withdrawn
withdrawn.
and will be presented at a later date. And then we have 8.3, 4600 group.
I'm gonna go grab them.
Okay.
A minute of glory.
Kevin gave you a lot of time, just 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 4600 Group LLC is the developer seeking to restore the historic Frontier House in the village of Lewiston. It's a 197-year-old structure that's been vacant since 2014. It was placed on the National Registry of Historic Places in 1974. The redevelopment plans intend to draw upon and celebrate the building's rich history, and the intention is to make it a destination sought by visitors from outside the area. Developer has communicated to us that they are working to conduct a marketing study, and the marketing study will go into further detail about how the company plans to use the facility as a destination. That study is forthcoming, and the board will have it prior to the next meeting. Mr.
Okay.
Fox is here from Alpha Development.
Would you like to tell us about your project a little bit, sir?
Yes, thank you. Tom Fox, Elk Development Company, thank you, Andrea. So we purchased the Frontier House in 2019, Elk Development Company under our entity 4600 group, as mentioned. The property was vacant going on almost 20 years. Last occupant, as many as you know, was McDonald's, and not a great tenancy for that historic building. So Federalist style building, constructed about 200 years ago now, originally as an inn. We've been going through a process in our design with State Historic Preservation Office, National Park Service, and we've recently received approval by them with our reuse plans for the building. And I think it went well with them. Typically, its function is always a concern of theirs. Having a hospitality or lodging component with the reuse plan was a strong point with them in our hopes to restore the building. So what we're looking to do with the project in total is about $5.3 million. We're looking to convert or reuse the first floor and basement space for commercial activity, retail activity. And we've had a bit of interest so far to that point. On the upper floors, 2, 3, and the 4th floor, the attic area, which is actually a really interesting space, barrel vaulted space. On those 3 floors, we're looking to do 11 total dwelling units, 6 of which would be Airbnb, short-term opportunities for rental, and then some longer market rate apartments, 5 units in total there. So it was mentioned about the intent to draw upon the rich history of the building and create a draw or a destination. Not only obviously Lewiston's a great place for visitors and many great destinations and activities to partake in for visitors coming to the area, but also this building in and of itself is a draw. And it's 200 years. It's been noted to have notable guests like U.S. President William McKinley, Henry Clay, Charles Dickens, and many others. And we're looking to rebrand the building, create a unique opportunity where we salvage a lot of the remaining historic fabric inside the building, pair that with modern amenities, and create a space where people can come and enjoy that history and understand the history of what was at that building. And we think we'll do well to that point. I'll stop there. That's really it in a nutshell. I don't know if there's any questions the board might have.
kind of retail interest have you had in,
We had a tenant actually that is looking at it currently with heavy interest is a restaurant tenancy that had an interest to take the first floor for its dining space and then create or reutilize the former bar area in the basement for a bar space, half of the basement area and some kitchen area down there as well. So we've had that among others as well, smaller retail, boutique retail opportunities. There's not a ton of retail space on the first floor in total. The way the first floor breaks up, in trying to keep that center core intact, which is important to SHPO and national parks with the reuse of the first floor space and circulation, you divide the space into multiple areas. We've got a lounge area for guests, which is about 400 square feet, a front area that's about 500 feet. The spot opposite that, which was McDonald's kitchen dining area, is about 2,500 square feet. So you get a number of these small spaces that we're targeting, and again having some interest on as plans pick up and interest picks up on this reconstruction. We're hoping to be in a position here as we wrap up our plans to submit for permit later this summer, and then start our reconstruction work, which will hopefully wrap up in about a year towards the end of next summer. We have done some structural work at this point so far, just preventative maintenance, a bunch of repointing on the masonry, and then we also had a bit of an unknown coming into it, but we rebuilt the front left corner. If any of you saw that, we take the stone down to the second floor and reconstructed the whole front corner of the building to re-support the roof that was having a structural issue there. So that was a big unknown and a big surprise for us, but a big cost up front just to stabilize that corner and rebuild it. So.
You have windows, I talked with the mayor about the building quite often, and she was saying that the windows were a problem in getting, but that's on order. As soon as the windows are finished, the inside construction can then start.
Yes, so the windows, we just had a quote on another job for windows, about 28 weeks for windows, which is unbelievable right now. Typically we're, a couple months at most for a window order like this. The windows have not yet been ordered. We've got 3 bids ready to do that, and all those are specialized window suppliers because of the need to match the historic window profiles and everything. The windows that are in there now are replacements for the most part. Replaced in the 70s, 60s, 70s, I believe, and they were a pretty good match. But they're not the original windows, and they have suffered a bit of deterioration. They're all wood, so they do need to be fully replaced, attic to basement.
So you've done no work interior except for just no work interior, just structure outside?
Just structural, just repointing on the outside. There was a bit of, on that big major rebuild at the front left corner there facing Center Street, it did come into the interior because we had to fully demo the furred-out structure on the inside to rebuild the stone wall. But other than that, it's just been stabilized at this point.
the 3 jobs that you're gonna bring? It looks like 2 full-time, 1 part-time. Is that?
Yeah, it's staff that would be dedicated to the turnover and maintenance and management of those Airbnb units, and just general building staff, maintenance staff to take care of the common areas and the grounds. And we do also plan to take advantage of the management operations with our Jockman Hotel in Niagara Falls, which is not part of this property, to help us with the handling of the Airbnb and the lodging portion of this project.
Any other questions? Comments? Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, we need motion for the preliminary resolution, Mr. Trumpo. Lopez, and all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Need a roll call vote?
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Krempa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez? Yes. Mr. Onesi?
Yes. Okay, we need to authorize the public hearing. We have a motion for that, Mr. Trumpo, Mr. McCabe. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Krempa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez? Yes. Mr. Onesi?
Yes. Thank you. 8.4, Development Associated.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Advanced Energy has acquired Track, and they're seeking to establish a base of production in the Northeast. Currently, Track Inc. has been leasing space at 160 Washburn Street in the city of Lockport since 2014. As their operations have grown, they are occupying 32,000 square feet of space per floor over 3 floors, which has become impractical. So they are seeking to build 110,000 square foot facility at a site on Junction Road in Cambria, and this site will also allow for them to put on an additional 100,000 square feet for future expansion should they need that and accommodate their longer range goals. The newly constructed site at Cambria will be light manufacturing and a warehousing facility. The manufacturing lines of the site will include electrostatic detection and measurement solutions for semiconductor, aerospace, automotive, medical, defense, PV, solar, test and measurement applications. The site would retain 205 existing jobs and add an additional 100 jobs. It's worth noting that the city of Lockport is in favor of this development. And there's a number of folks here from Walden Development, from Track, and their consultant.
Hi, I'm Andy DeVincentis with Walden Development Group and CAP Development Associates.
Chuck Bell with the Harrison Studio, been working with Advanced Electric with development.
Brief background on the development side, obviously Greenfield site, town of Cambria, it's zoned properly for the project. Again, A and Trek is considered kind of multiple options, trying to stay as close to the city of Lockport and the county of Niagara as possible, so certainly appreciate everyone's time and consideration of this. Really fantastic project that not only they want to retain, over 200 jobs that are all great paying jobs, a highly skilled workforce, but A's plan, and I don't want to speak too much for Chuck and the group, but they want to create an engineering center of excellence in the area. They found that our workforce is great for what they do, and this facility in the initial phase would be 110,000 square feet, as Andrea mentioned, with the capability to expand up to another 100,000 square feet, so it's a 20-acre site. So it meets both their short-term goals to kind of expand and grow, but also the long-term goals of where they can continue to grow in our community. So.
Yeah, and I would just add that Trek has been around for quite a while, moved from Medina to Lockport, and we're just talking about the fact that still 50% of the workforce is from the Medina area and able to maintain that employment, and that was a desire here. Now that they've really grown the Niagara County base, was to continue and keep every single one of their employees as they look for a new location. And with things like Denver, Colorado, or a location in Malaysia are options, it was really great to be able to stay this close to home and keep the workforce. So just one other point, that acquisition occurred in 2018, which really propelled the company and positioned it for growth to create these jobs and meet this expansion. At the time, there was a very serious effort to try and build within the city of Lockport. You saw this agency reviewed benefits package in 2018. We want to note that those benefits were not actually taken or realized because that expansion became so impractical and weren't able to grow on site and needed to then undertake this project.
The 200 jobs, now they're going to come from exactly moving over. How many do we have in Lockport now?
I think actually the latest is what, 210, Dan?
Yeah, 210 is 100% will be, okay. What do we have for that building?
We'll be over 300 when we're done. So 100 jobs with the project.
To be added.
Well, it's a great location there in Junction Road, easy ingress and egress. And I think that's property the county bought years ago because we're going to move several of our departments over there. And I'm glad it's being used at the present time, and certainly from what I read in the paper, and I'm picking that, Andrea, it can be used for other businesses up there.
I think it's just south of the property that you're thinking of.
Oh, is it just?
Yeah, yeah, this,
was the acreage we bought that.
correct, and Andrea Sue can speak to that, but I think it's just south of, because I'd actually talked to Andrea about this a while ago.
Yeah.
When this whole project started close to a year ago, was looking at, I think, the property that was just north of the trailer.
And when I read through it, I said, the property was built a long time ago, and I was glad it was being used.
Yeah, yeah.
Because all our plans changed at that time, and we didn't move those departments over to.
And we hope that this spurs more development up and down Junction Road, to be quite frank. Yeah.
It's great, only Tom Weeks and his buses are over there. So
Right, correct.
It's a great place to be, and
Correct.
certainly it would be commended on the job.
Appreciate that.
Any other questions?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
time, appreciate it. We have a motion? Okay, and from Mr. McCabe, Mr. Scott, Mr. McCabe. And all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We need a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Krempa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez? Yes. Mr. Onesi?
Yes. 8.42, authorized public hearing, we need a motion to that as well. Mr. McCabe, and Mr. Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We need a roll call vote.
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Krempa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez? Yes. Mr. Onesi?
Yes, and that was Mr. Bridges that made the second, so. Scott.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much for your time. Let's see. 8.5, COVID relief for small business grant, Sue?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For this grant application, our consultants from H. Sickerman, along with the IDA staff, reviewed all the documents submitted for grant eligibility criteria. Hydraulic Race Company Incorporated is also known as the Lockport Cave and Underground Boat Ride, which separated since 1977, and the Niagara Zipper, which is a zip line ride over the canal, which began in 2017. They currently have over 20 employees and are looking to create a full-time position. Due to COVID restrictions, the Niagara Zipper attraction was shut down for 2 summer seasons, and they saw a significant loss of revenue. They're reopening this season and would like to use the funds to promote the zipline ride, as well as a new attraction of laser tag evening rides. Their grant request is for $50,000. The use of funds would be to increase and replace inventory and supplies for the zip line, training expenses, and marketing to promote and increase revenue for the business. We recommend approval of the grant request as the applicant qualifies based on meeting all grant eligibility requirements.
Questions? Comments? Then we need a motion for approval, Mr. Trumpa. And Mr. Scott. I'm sorry, Mr. Bridges. And all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We need a roll call vote for that.
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mr. Ross? Mr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Krempa?
Yes.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez? Yes. Mr. Onesi?
Yes. 8.6, conference room technology upgrade.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Staff has seeking to upgrade the conference room and boardroom technology, but primarily the conference room technology. It's just out of date. It's really not compatible with doing like Zoom calls and things of that nature. So really, it needs to transform from an audio conference to a video conference room. So staff did seek and receive 3 quotes. One was from Capstream for approximately $36,000, E Plus for $55,000, and Diversified for $54,000. Staff is recommending that we choose Capstream Technologies for $36,378. That's just for the large conference room. The boardroom would be an additional $5,231.
Any questions?
That comes with training.
It does. Yeah.
Other questions?
So where's this revenue, or this money coming from? Which pot? In the IDA pot? Is it CDBG?
No, it's operating.
Oh, just-
Operating.
So Campson, these are three different projects, or
They're three different
companies.
quotes.
Yeah,
quotes, okay.
yeah.
All right.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Second. And, Mr. Vulcan, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. McCabe?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Krempa?
Yeah.
Mr. Cliff?
Yes.
Ms. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Omesi?
Yes. Okay. 9.0, Agency Council, Mr. Gabriel.
Nothing to add, thank you.
Okay, any other information, items, questions?
Thanks. Cliff, actually, I wondered if we have the press out there, you're the only one that's speaking to them.
Really? Great.
Would
thank
that
you.
be practical?
Yeah, I just think if we all just have one
voice?
representative.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah. Mark and Sue.
Already I've been crossed off. Yeah, right, it just makes sense.
Did you hurt your neck? Jeez. Okay.
I'm just here for pictures, Mark.
You are the Arcadia
Of Molson Light.
Wow.
Talk about getting fixed.
So they're gonna put your head on my body.
That's scary.
That is scary. Anyway, okay, so any other matters the board wishes to discuss besides, me being the victim, here? All right, our next regular meeting is August 10th. We need a motion to adjourn. Mr. Clefbaum, Mr. McCabe. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you very much.
Mark, talk to you later.
Yes.
See you later.
I'll let you know